This is Barry Zalma, Zalma on Insurance. I'm an attorney who has retired from the active practice of law and now spend my time as an insurance claims consultant and expert witness, an author and producer of these videos. Today, it's time to talk about Zalma'S Insurance Fraud Letter, Volume 25, Issue Number 2, which will be posted in full on January 15, 2021 at zalma.com by clicking on the link to the Zalma'S Insurance Fraud Letter. The letter will discuss with its lead article the need for professional insurance adjusting in order to defeat or at least reduce insurance fraud. At the turn of the century, insurers in a search for profit decimated their professional claims staff. They laid off experienced personnel and replaced them with young, untrained, and usually unprepared people. A virtual clerk replaced the old professional claims handler. Process and computers replaced skill and judgment. Insurers intentionally forgot that the promises made by an insurance policy are kept by the professional claims person. A professional claims staff is, therefore, a cost-effective method to avoid litigation. The professional claims person is and will always be an important part of the insurer's defense to litigation against insurers for breach of contract and to detect and defeat attempts at insurance fraud. A staff of claims professionals dedicated to excellence in claims handling are a profit center for an insurance company. Experience establishes that claims professionals resolve more claims for less money without the need for either party to involve counsel. A happy insured or claimant satisfied with the results of his or her claim will never sue the insurer. Incompetent or inadequate claims personnel force insureds and claimants to lawyers. Every study performed on claims established that claims with an insured or claimant represented by counsel cost the insurer more than those where counsel is not involved. The insurance industry needs to set up a program of excellence in claims handling, a program that can help insurers avoid charges of bad faith in both first and third-party claims. An insurer must understand that it cannot adequately fulfill the promises it makes to an insured and the Fair Claims Practices Act, which exists in almost every state, when dealing with claimants without excellence in claims handling. An insurer must work intelligently and with vigor to create a professional claims department. Insurance claims professionals are 1. People who can read and understand the insurance policies issued by the insurer. People who understand the promises made by the policy and their obligation as an insurer's claims staff to fulfill the promises made. They are people who are competent investigators. They have empathy and recognize the difference between empathy and sympathy. They understand medicine relating to traumatic injuries and are sufficiently versed in tort law to deal with lawyers as equals. They understand how to repair damage to real and personal property and the value of the repairs or the property, and an insurer whose claim staff is made up of people who are less than insurance claims professionals will be eventually destroyed by expensive and counterproductive litigation. My proposal to create claims professionals and to avoid claims of bad faith and punitive damages, and to make a profit, insurers must maintain claim staffs that are dedicated to excellence in claims handling. That means they will make sure every promise made in every policy is satisfied fully, fairly, and in good faith. So what sources are available to obtain training? Insurance training is available across the country by correspondence, in local colleges and universities, from law firms that will provide the training as a marketing tool. None of these sources are directed to producing insurance claims professionals, however. They do provide the basic background information necessary to begin the process of becoming an insurance claims professional. In that regard, I personally have created electronic training programs on professional claims handling that are available from experfy.com and a different set of courses from illumio.com. An excellence in claims handling program can include a series of web-based lectures supported by text materials like my claims books available at amazon.com and over the Insurance Claims Library at my website, https://www.zalma.com. The web lectures may be supplemented by meetings between supervisors and claim staff on a regular basis to reinforce the information learned in the lectures. In addition, the insurer must institute a regular program of auditing claims files to establish compliance with the subject studied. There is no quick and easy solution. The training and education takes time. Learning takes even longer. The insurer's management must support and reinforce the training regularly. Insurers must also understand that it takes courage to fight insurance fraud, and that is why this video comes from my newsletter, Zalma on Insurance Fraud, and why I continue to publish the newsletter twice a month. The legislatures of the various states, the United States Congress, the National Association of Insurance Commissioners, the National Insurance Crime Bureau, and insurance industry groups have finally decided that the war against insurance fraud is worth fighting. Until the states, the local police agencies, the district attorneys, the United States attorneys, and the attorneys general of the various states join in the battle, it will be fought to a stalemate. The insurance industry cannot successfully fight insurance fraud alone. Insurance industry sources estimate insurance fraud takes from their bottom line anywhere from $80 billion to $300 billion a year. In fact, no one really knows because most insurance fraud succeeds. Regardless of which estimate is the accurate amount of money going to insurance criminals, the amount is staggering and approaches no less than 3 to 10% of the premium collected. I propose that insurance fraud is not a local problem. It is a depletion of the wealth of the entire country. The lawyers for the Department of Insurance of each state is the state's attorneys general and their staff. A special unit could be established in the office of the state attorney general, funded with the monies taken from the insurance industry to support the war against insurance fraud. This unit should be given a simple mandate: file and prosecute every insurance fraud brought to the unit by the Fraud Division or Fraud Bureau that has a better than 50% chance of success. Single counts should be prosecuted. When prosecutors file multiple charges against individual defendants, the case becomes a major action requiring a great deal of time to prosecute. Judges and juries do not want to be involved in a prosecution that takes months to try. If there are multiple counts available, the prosecutor should charge only the one where the evidence of fraud is overwhelming. If the jury finds for the defendant, the prosecutor can charge the next count continuously until the statute of limitation runs. Sentences across the state must be consistent and true punishment. I have seen such inconsistency where cases after conviction, the criminals received sentences that ranged from 24 hours to 24 years for almost the exact same crime. It is not enough for the state to say that the insurance companies must investigate and work to fight fraud. The state and its prosecutors and criminal investigators must also aggressively and vigorously fight insurance fraud. If the legislatures really want insurers to fight insurance fraud, if the legislatures of the various states wish to keep strong and viable this important industry of insurance, if the legislatures want to reduce the insurance premiums paid by their constituents, they must make practical the war on insurance fraud. As long as the tort of bad faith and the exposure of punitive damages hangs over insurance companies, the war will be one of attrition where no one will win except the criminals. The stories I have fictionalized in my book, It's Time to Abolish the Tort of Bad Faith, were written to show how insurance fraud is taking money out of the pockets of innocent and honest people who buy insurance. For every dollar taken by a fraud perpetrator, an insurer must collect $2 in premiums. Every person in the U.S. who does not commit fraud is paying to support those who do. A minimum of $20 for every $100 every person pays in premiums goes into the pockets of insurance criminals. If the stories in the book make the reader angry, perhaps it would be best to write to your local district attorney, state's attorney, attorney general, or U.S. attorney and let them know of your anger. Consider the digest of the case that follows in the newsletter about the magic toilet is to effectively fight insurance fraud when a fraud proved with overwhelming evidence still needed to go through trial and appeal before the criminal was sent to jail. Zalma'S Insurance Fraud Letter, Volume Number 2, issued on January 15, 2021, includes, among others, the story of the magic toilet and conviction for insurance fraud and other crimes, wisdom from the future and from the past, good news from the Coalition Against Insurance Fraud, a selection of health insurance fraud convictions that are becoming less and less because no one really wants to go to trial during the pandemic, videos on YouTube and Zalma on insurance from me, Barry Zalma, other insurance fraud convictions, a list of some of the most wanted fugitives from the United States Health and Human Services Office of the Attorney General, and a listing of various books and educational materials available from Zalma on Insurance and from the Insurance Claims Library. This video was taken from Zalma'S Insurance Fraud Letter, January 15, 2021, Volume 25, Issue Number 2, and is available on my website, Zalma.com, by clicking on the link to the newsletter. And this video is available on YouTube and on Rumble.com and on my blog, Zalma.com/blog, all of which should be referred to your colleagues since they're all free. Thank you for your attention.